Welcome back to Factorio Masterclass. My name is Nilaus and we are on volcanoes now. So what we've done, just kind of taking stock of situation and defining where we are sort of in the progression of things. We have unlocked the 4 inner planets. We have established productivity modules and we have quality modules being made on various planets. So what is the next move? Well, the next move is actually to explore quality a little bit more because I want to make sure that we sort of build up some quality products before going to Aquilo. It's just really nice, both because at this point you can either continue progression towards Aquilo or you can scale up your base with quality and scale. And I think that this is a good time for me to show how to do some quality. So this is going to be the art of upcycling. Right, what does that mean? Well, upcycling is kind of a term that I have come up with for defining how to make normal quality into higher quality. And, well, we call it upcycling. And there are basically 2 ways of making something in higher quality. Let's just take something, let's not take this out. So if I wanted this in higher quality, then there are 2 ways. I can either do this here. I can put in the already existing quality items, and then I'll be 100% chance of getting the same quality out. Or the other way is taking a lower quality, using normal, and then using quality modules to try to force it to become a higher quality. If you do that, then you kind of also need to scrap the rest. And as you scrap them, it also makes sense for you for us to do this so that we can actually quality it. And you can then of course say, well, couldn't you also just do the same thing with this one? Sure you can, but if you already have this, then it's a different thing. So that means now we have the choice, the big choice. Do we want to make base materials upgraded, or do we want to make the finished product updated and using base materials? I'm choosing to use the base materials into making quality items. This is the definition of upcycling. This one is all just making it at higher quality. The reason why I'm choosing that is because I have defined the number of things that I want to have in my base as higher quality items. And there's sort of different categories. Here's the stuff for the electromagnetic plants, the stuff for the foundries, the normal stuff in the assemblers, and the stuff out here that is in assemblers but needed in so high quantity that I really should have some better, have it in higher quantity. So those are sort of the different groupings. And if we look at each of these, then we also need concrete and gears. And well, what about over here? Then you would also need this one in higher quality, or this one in higher quality, that one. And it just kind of gets overwhelming to make everything in higher quality. Especially some of the things are a little bit tedious to make in higher quality. Electric engineers, for example. Well, it's not really, but you know, there's a lot of things that need to be made in higher quality. So I'm choosing to just throw normal things at it and then rely on the chance to upcycle. Now there is a 16% chance, and I am using quality modules here. I'm using rare quality modules. And this is, I would recommend, a good place to use your quality modules. Not the first place to use quality modules. You want to use the first quality modules you use those to make more quality modules, to get a higher chance of getting more quality modules. So once that's upgraded, then you can go in here and put them into the hub. And I want to build it on volcanoes because volcanoes is the easiest place to build it on. I've grouped it into sort of different categories. Here is all the stuff that is like equipment stuff, which is just something like keep building it and then we have it. And then there's some weapons, some stuff for spaceships, some power. Spaceship, yes. And up here, there's just normal production materials. And then, of course, we need inserters in large quantities, assemblers, and robots in large quantity, because we really want to use better quality robots as well. So how do we do this? Well, there are, again, a couple of options. I choose the simple option because, well, that's just who I am. I choose the simple option. So there is definitely a way to do this with circuits, so you don't need that many quality modules, and then you have few assemblers that sort of alternate recipe. I really don't like this. I really dislike that way. It can be argued that it's the best way, but I want to use something that's simple. I also have another design criteria, which becomes a little bit more obvious. Let's use this one as the baseline for our designs. So if I'm doing this, there, maybe. I guess that's a good place to have it. That one, and and we also get one of these up here. Good. Right, so what we want to do is we want to have in here, we want to have a requester and a provider, and then basically say these are going out, let's go in, and here, and here. And this is going to be changing recipes to that one, but in uncommon quality. This one is going to be the same one, but in rare quality. And then I just realized that this is unfortunate. Here, here, and it becomes obvious why in just a sec. That is output and this is input. Good. So what we do here is we are going to bring materials in here only for the normal product. But as this one produces, it outputs here. And then it becomes part of the network. This is most likely to... Oh, really? That's annoying. Oh, there you go. Not a lot, but we have a little bit. Right, so this is almost certainly going to make normal ones. It's 84% chance of making a normal one, which means it will easily fill up with normal ones. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we can get rid of the normal ones here. And like that. So instead of this one, putting it out here, oh, we got an uncommon one actually, that's nice. But what if we say this should only be taking the stuff that is greater than or equal to on that quality here? That's the only stuff that goes out. What about the stuff that is then less quality here? Well, that would be this one or less, uncommon or less. That can then go in here. And this is why it's this system here is working really well, because right now we can take you and put that in here, and then that gets processed, and that gets processed into higher quality materials, which will then be placed in here, and then this one will start accumulating resources until, well, eventually it will build enough to get to get one craft. And that one will just be chucking along, and there we go. You can see, building another one. Soon we're getting it, and it's always, well, it's not always, but it is the this stone bricks that are missing. So what we have here is now an automatic one. The when we finally get to build some of these quality modules, then we're not going to be able to. We will not have any lower quality ones. Like, we won't have uncommon quality, we have normal qualities. I'm just throwing uncommon quality out. That's just, I don't care about uncommon. I don't really care about epics. So for us, it's a stepping stone up to rare quality. And that's why this one doesn't need to be next to the recycler. So it's just this one directly inserted to recycler. And it's also important that since this is going to be running most of the time, then I want a short inserter between the pickup box and the assembler working on the highest quantity stuff. Right, so even though it's not necessary in this one because we have we have this one here, but let's make a power pole as well. So this thing here, then I want to also cap it so it's not going to run forever. Then let's cap it at this one. How many? This one, but rare quality. That's not. I don't want a filter. I want an this filter kind of filter. So that one, uncommon quality, is less than 50, for example, right? So that means don't pick up from the box when it is less than 50, or when I have 50 of these already. We haven't done any materials here. We have completed one of these, and this one is also just more likely just to go back. So with this setup here, it's just gonna last a while. We can also just make another condition here, inserter. Can I do this copy? Oh, that would be nice if I could. So this one also do logistics, connect, and that one uncommon and less than 50. No, actually this was opposite, greater than or equal to 50. And then I'm gonna turn it into a green light. There, so now it's green light when everything is done. I think that's nice. So we can sort of see at a glance that this one is completed. And that's basically sort of what we want to do. We can We can do the same thing for the other ones, but we can also make it a little bit cooler than this if we make a blueprint of it. That's this one. And let's see this. And then I start using parameterized controls. Yeah. So that is parameter 1. And no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. See, I can make it even more modular instead of this. If I want to parameterize it, I have to make sure that it can actually define these parameters itself. And I am going to do that with this one here. So I'm going to be taking from you in here, from you in here. And this one will read the ingredients. The ingredients will come in. Each thing will go out to each thing, and it'll be multiplied by 10. So that we now get 10 times what we need for a craft to be requested. So that gets fed in here. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to set request instead. So now the requests are set based on this recipe, which means again, let's kill these other ones. And this one. Redraw the blueprint like that. And then we can go into parameters. Now it's much less. So what to, or I can just call it product. Select the product and how many. And this parameter is, oh, this should also be tagged as parameter. It should be a variable of no. It's fine. I think this is working. So basically, the prompt is select this, and then how many do we want of it? Let's try it. Oops. Did it save? No, it did not save. Parameter and how many? Question mark. Parameter. And that one. And then that one. Good. So let's try and see if we can do that. If we do it over here. And then we select the product. What product do we want to say? What do we want to produce here? We definitely want to... That one. That's a boring thing. We want 50 of these. Good. Does it work? It sets the right conditions. It sets the condition here that we want storage tanks. Everything else is working, and these ones are set. So it works. We now have a module. We can do the same thing kind of module for foundries, things that are made in foundries, and things that are made in accumulators or in electromagnetic plants. So that should not be a problem. On top of that, these ones are actually going to be a little bit faster. So I want to make a better design here, because if we look at this, this is basically 1/4 of the resources that get in here gets reprocessed, and that means this is going to be busy all the time. This is going to be busy not very much, and this one's never ever going to be busy basically. But it's if I add more of these, the normal ones, then we can keep the other ones a little bit more busy. So for that, for these things at a higher quantity, we definitely want that. So let's see if we can do the same kind of design, just in a different setup. So let's use this one as the baseline. There, and that one. Seems a little bit far away. Now it should be possible. And here and here. So we kind of just mirror it. And let's get this in here, this in here. Yeah, so that's working. And then the outputs here, here, and here. And then I actually want... So it's normal, 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 normal. Yes. And that will mean you can't be there, because I actually need like this. That has to be able to drop all the way in there as well. Okay, so I think we want to use a accumulator here, substation here. So this thing, you will not have you here. That one and that one. So now all of these 5, they will be able to directly insert into the assembler, which will go into that one. And that's not great. It actually needs to be flipped. Because it needs to go into this one, because this one will then contain the materials, the higher quality materials, and there. And that should get that inbound. Cool. So this is going to be a more advanced version of the same thing, and this advanced version here, yeah. So this will be more likely to run. Of course, we're still stuck on lack of stone bricks, but if we had enough stone bricks, we would see that these would be working more of the time, these 4, and then this would be working a little bit more. So this is like an upgraded version. So now we have all the components we need, and all I need to do then is set it up in some blocks and set up all of these as well. So here we have it. We've set it all up here, and there's one important design parameter that I forgot to mention, which I'll just go through right now. One of the key points of this, and the reason why I'm using so many and making these blocks here, is that all of the uncommon ingredients here, I don't want those to end up in my logistics network. That's very important. I want these to stay within each unit by itself. And the reason why I want that is because previously I was just putting into the logistics network, and you end up with some things you have way too much of in the logistics network, and other things you're just struggling with. By doing this, I keep it self-contained, and I don't sort of have something steal resources from something else. There'll be something like, I don't know, gears will be way too much, but red and blue circuits will be a shortage. So this way I guarantee that they stay within the confines of each of the units. This is why I have so many units and so many recyclers here, because I want to make sure that it keeps the uncommon quality away, so they're not stealing from each other. This is very important, because that was something I discovered in a previous series, that it was I ended up just having hundreds of thousands of uncommon quality green circuits, for example. Just like, why? What am I going to do with you? So this way I prevent this by keeping it isolated to each of those locations, and then yeah, it does require more modules and more space, but neither of those are big critical things for me. You also can choose not to make like some of these things if you don't really feel the need for making, I don't know, rare quality personal laser defense. Then fine, sure, no problem. On the other hand, you also say that this has a requirement. You can see this is requiring energy shield 1, so we do have down here a list of additional things you have to put into the original hub, so that you can build all the items. For example, if you want heat exchangers, then we do want heat exchangers in uncommon quality before going to Aquilo. So you need normal quality boilers, normal quality stone furnaces, because then you feed into the normal quality heat exchangers, and so on and so forth. Which means that this existing hub, you'll have to redesign some part of it. For example, I wouldn't want to make normal quality beacons anymore as soon as I start making them in higher quality. So take that out, take these ones out here. So there's plenty of things you can take out. Definitely take out the normal quality here. Well, actually, you do need some normal quality for the city blocks. But there's definitely a lot of stuff that you can easily take out and replace with only using the quality builds up here. And that's just kind of it, what I have done for Patreon supporters. Of course, thank you very much everyone who's supporting on Patreon. What I've done is I have included these the rare quality upcycler, the rare quality upcycler for electromagnetic plants, and the foundry, and then the big one. And then I'm also going to be including this 3-block hub here with the rare quality upcycler hub, because that will allow you to just stamp it down, and then I have to find some numbers and quantities and recipes that I find to be appropriate, and then you can use that and get started with it pretty easily. Even though we don't have foundations yet to pave over the lava, using 3 blocks for this is not really a big deal in my opinion. So having this one set up, it's also a lot of idle space. I did other patterns as well, but since there's something with the 4 sides, you have to be careful about the unfortunate rotational symmetry of those designs. And I think I got around with it very, very neatly. So with that, thank you very much, everyone who's supporting the Let's Play here, or the Masterclass series, joining in on Twitch. On Sundays, we do design work for upcoming Masterclasses. And of course, biggest thanks goes out to all the patrons who are supporting the channel and making this possible. And for you, I give these neatly wrapped up crisp blueprints. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.